Alright, going live today to not really demonstrate anything. I'm just going to paint today. I'm going to be rather quiet, or at least I try to be quiet. So those of you who are watching, don't worry too much about the silence. Just I guess just this is just fun drawing. That's all. Hi, Asmita. Nice to see you here. So this is actually I know. So this is what I'm working towards, my Christmas series, and so these are some of the samples I'm trying. So let's see how this works out. Meanwhile, I'm going to continue painting a few, illustrating a few wreaths, and mostly botanical themed stuff this year. So let's see how that works out. Okay, so this is one sample that I tried printing. Prints quite vibrant and nice. This is another sample still in my sketchbook. I also did one which was a round wreath. So today I'm going to definitely try a wreath, but not a round one, or rather a round wreath, but a placement or an arrangement that is not adhering to the round. So on this sheet here, I have marked out my 5x7 space, simply so that I know how much I want to, at least I want to know where my placement is. Okay. I've been looking at a lot of floral arrangements, and some of my favorite colors, schemes, and arrangements I kind of mix and match to finally get a composition that appeals to me. Yeah, that's what I'm doing today, putting together a few things and then just illustrating it. Okay, so for the sake of a circle, let me just see if I can pull up. Not the best circle, it's my, but that's okay. I just need a rough circle. Pencil work you may not be able to see very clearly, but I'll be inking it afterwards. Okay, so what I'm going to have is a little bit of bramble. I'm not sure what it is. It's basically branches interwoven on one side, and on the other side we're going to have the flowers. So somewhere here I'd like to have the poinsettia, and this time maybe these are just placements. I'm not okay, you can have a flower here. These are not poinsettia, these are just whitish flowers. Okay, they're large this way. Now I like an arrangement that has holly, not holly, ivy, my mistake. I like ivy, so Christmassy. Okay, so I'll have ivy there. Then I'm gonna have a flower facing sideways here, so it's gonna have and then one facing on this side, which is more on my placement of petals. somewhere here, and then what else? Okay, so I like the leaves to radiate outward. Okay, I want something like this, where the leaves are starting to move outward this way. It's a very odd arrangement, but it's quite nice, very appealing to me at least. Okay, something like this. And then some filler elements. Oh, I'll put some here as well. So I'm gonna have and something here and one here. Okay, maybe another one here. I'm not going to go into too much on this side. One hidden, leave that. Okay, leaves on this side. Now this place I could have some usual like the Casuarina leaves. Oh, I'm not sure if it's Casuarina or which Christmas plant to be sure. I'm not sure. Okay, so this side I'm going to have some bramble or some stems overlapping. Yeah, that would be good, just to give it a sense of, yep. Let's see how this works out. Okay, inking it now. For those who are joining in along the way, I am merely trying Christmas floral composition. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it. Christmas floral composition. You can see I'm already deviating from the pattern I drew below, which is usually what happens actually. I start one way and then go somewhere else with it. Okay, one behind here. The picture I'm looking at seems to have like a bunch of leaves out here. I mean, these are not leaves, I believe these are bracts. So, an oddly distributed poinsettia. Yeah, that looks okay. Next would be these flowers. Just frilly leaves. Not even sure what sort of flowers these are. Leaves like this, overlapping. Some over here. I'm not sure all of you can hear the ruckus that's going on outside. A lot of crackers, a bit too early. Okay. Yeah, that looks fine. Alright. Now let's go on to this one. Slightly on its side. So this has petals shaped this way. Okay. There's some over here. Yeah. Now this one is sitting on its front, little more front facing. Okay. Main flowers done. Now most things are hiding behind. So I'm just going to place them. Only thing I want to be careful of is the radiating lines. I'd like the lines to radiate the right way out. So this is one, this is another. I'll put one here. Then, okay, I haven't put any berries. Maybe I could put one here. Something like this, okay. A few berries here too. Okay, let me put the rest of the here. There are some that are sitting funny. Okay, there's one here, there's one here, there's definitely one here. Now this one is bending upward. Right, so there's one sideways, this one outward, and one here. Now here there's nothing more. Okay, let's consider putting a few berries. I'm missing a few berries here, this side, but we have one here too. Okay, all right, I'll put the rest of the berries now after I draw the ivy. No botanical element could spell Christmas more than the ivy leaf. Poison ivy, by the way, for those of you who don't know about this plant. I was so impressed when I saw the poison ivy in UK when I went there. It was so pretty and vibrant. I never imagined it would be as vibrant as it is in photographs. By the side of a road. Hey Alka, hi. We are. Oh, I am. No, we. I am illustrating a few. What is it? Wreaths? Trying to get some ideas or samples for my Christmas series. This is a sample I painted and tried printing. So I'm going to go with some florals this time. I'm going to, let's see, for a change. I know florals are overdone, but why not? They are overdone for a reason. Right. Now I can put in my berries here. Yeah. And one set here. Should be enough. Okay. Now the rest of it is going to excuse me. It's going to be oddly just leaves this way. Similarly over here, I may add more, of course, eventually, but probably while I paint. There's one turning there. Okay, there's plenty actually out here. That's not how they work in bouquets. Rest of it is just going to be these kind of these lines are kind of going to disappear into all the green that comes later. Okay. Now I I will go in and do this. Sorry about that, brushes are all over the place. I'm just placing these for now. What's going to lie here is more branches which are uneven, things sticking out like this. Okay, and then you have these branches going inward. I'm going to draw the border for a bit. This is not going to look great actually until the shades come in. So let's start putting in the colors. Alright, I'm leaving it at this. I'm not going to ink more, but I'm going to erase what I don't need. It's November 1st, All Saints Day, and I don't know what it is, but as I grow older, I find that I feel Christmassy earlier and earlier. It's a very odd thing. The Christmas spirit kind of starts creeping in on me earlier every year. So when I was a kid, December 1st was the day I started to feel Christmassy. But now November 1st is making me feel really Christmassy. Very soon I'm going to start playing Christmas music in the background. Yep, that's my kneadable eraser. Doesn't take away all the pencil marks, just the ones that I do not want shown. Yep, that's it. Okay, let's get at this. Okay, now I'm going to use, just for your reference, this is my palette. Isn't it colorful? Amazing, right? Before anyone asks me, this is the Camel Watercolor Cakes 48 shade. Oh, it's such a lovely, lovely palette. Such a lovely set. I absolutely love the colors, and I am going to start. Okay. So first off, I'm going to have some very odd colors. Let me warn you in advance. odd colors because you're not going to expect some of the colors here. Poinsettia, of course, is red. So we're going to start with red points. Oops, too watery. Just one moment. Now, poinsettia, while it is red, it's also a little bit of crimson in there. I'm going to add in crimson. Yep. Oof, too dark. Yeah, that's better. If I miss somebody's question, please ask me again because I'm not looking up as often as I should. I know, Alka, absolutely. That set is just amazing, no? So I have 48 half pan sets of other brands, but half pans, you can't always carry them, especially because they're heavy, they're big. This one is just amazing. The fact that it's all dry, right? That's one big thing about the cakes, the watercolor cakes, Cameron's watercolor cakes. Dry and incapable of spreading and smudging and God knows whatever else happens with wet paints. Alright, okay, I'm going to leave it for now. I need to get on to my other flowers. The other really fun thing I want to do is, I'm going to give my what is this? There. Okay, I'm going to give this your ivy is normally green, right? This ivy, I am giving it an odd color, a very odd color. It's actually golden. I like the effect of golden. In fact, I like the effect of red, gold and green. That is an amazing combination. And so although this is not your usual ivy, natural ivy, I'm going to go this time with a little bit of non-unusual ivy. Let's see how this turns out. What's the worst that could happen? I won't like it, I won't print it. That's all. Okay. Oh, I forgot one ivy here. This happens, always. I always forget a little bit somewhere, and then you'll find me coming back. Fix those things. Okay. Alright. Now I'm going to go in with some really, I think this is chrome, no, yellow green. All my base shades. Unreal, no? Watercolor. Not sure if it's called chrome green or yellow green, I'm not sure. These particular leaves are very, very dinchak, if you get what I mean. So the song, if you know this song that says it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. As my wreaths shape up, no, I start to feel like it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Ah, nice. Okay, I will go in with my second bit of color. The ones closest are a little darker. Just a wee bit. Oops. All right. Then I'm going to go in with the yellow kind of a color. What I will do with this is also apply it at places here. This is me. Okay. Still not the color that we need to get, but let's add all the other things. Oops. nice color. So even though I've not drawn these, there are several of these over here. Closer to the flowers, you can make them a little deeper in color because they are below. Alright. Some over here. And lots over here actually. But maybe I'll reduce it. I won't put so many. The key is that the white gaps need to be filled. These are the, in reality, these are the leaves that are filling up the bouquet, right? Giving it a wholesome look. So as you add them, your bouquet has to start to fill up like the actual bouquet. Okay, some behind, you will only see them peeking. One or two may overlap a flower or a leaf in front, but not mostly not. And you need these stray ones too, huh? Just like sticking out this way. what shall we do next? So the centers of these particular flowers have got a little bit of yellow. I will try to put that in first. You will be wondering why I'm not coloring this, because it is actually white. So for white flowers you are going to be let me go in with a bright red. Let's take it below. These back ones have to be dark. The ones at the back. Oh. As you come to the flowers in front, you can reduce the pigment a bit, just a bit. I'm doing something very dangerous here. I'm painting next to colors I should not ideally paint. Okay. As the pigment reduces, your leaves are going to, your bracts are going to look lighter. Okay, and if you look at a real poinsettia, usually you will find this sort of a color. Hey, hi Ritu. Thank you. I hope it turns out as well as I expect it to. It just looks weird right now. Berries. Now berries, I can make them any color actually, but I would go with a very deep, like almost a maroon. Let me see. Yeah. Let me see if I can go deeper. Any more missing are there? There's something hidden somewhere else, I think. Oh no? Alright, we'll see if we need to add some more. Oh, it's not. It's far from done, Ritu. It has to look better. It has to look better. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to deepen the browns. The spaces I've left a little white. I'm going to start putting in this little darker brown. Okay, so that my yellowish ochre thing continues to be there, but my brown also starts to show. Be careful not to paint over all the yellow, because or whatever yellow color, because that has to be there, that contrast has to be there. I'm going to have light branches. Okay, now this part is wet, so I'm going to just be careful. I'll fill that in later. What else? I can put in the grey I was hoping to, but this is a tricky. Let's see. Oops. Too much. So the funny thing is, as much as I would have liked this to be quite white, it's not going to make much difference when I scan this. The white is still going to, the grey is not going to show unless I make it a little darker. So I'm going to have to make this just a wee bit more grey. It'll end up looking like a grey flower here on the screen, but when scanned, it will look white. Grey almost entirely becomes white when you scan and print. I think it's something to do with grey being too light. I'm wiping off. It may seem a little darker. I'm just warning you that it may look a little dark, but don't worry too much. I'm telling myself not to worry too much. Usually applying it between, like below, with the shadow of a leaf on another leaf, if you get what I mean. Usually that's where you would see a little bit of a darker shade or a fold. Okay, now that I've painted in this white, what was supposed to be the white flower, I am now very aware that there are gaps next to this flower, gaps in these spaces, and that should not be there. So let's go in with a green, and this time we'll go for sap green, because I've not used sap green yet. Okay? And some evergreens are definitely sap green. These are leaves you can just draw in this way. Just place them around. They are really peeking, just peeking. So you'll notice I never even painted these, or sorry, sketched these in pen, because they don't need to be sketched in pen. They just need to appear at corners here and there, and these guys will definitely fill in all the rest, add the bulk and the volume that we need. It starts to fill up. So don't forget sap green. I don't think any Christmas bouquet will look complete without some element of sap green. And then fill in these gaps in between with that same sap green. Okay. A change in color in the gaps will definitely prove that the shoots are coming from deeper in, right, and not directly jumping out at the end. So find these white gaps and try and put in your sap green there. I would make this darker. A little bit of sap green here, here. Filling up, isn't it? Oof. Sorry, too much pigment. Okay, now here I definitely want some sap green, and I may just add it in all the way from here, like little bits coming in from inside, behind. But keep it always behind. Remember that. Keep it always behind. Whatever is already there is supposed to be on top. So these things have to be behind. Hi Archana. The ones that I exposed, yes, be very careful so that the shape of the leaf looks nice, very organic but shapely. Okay, but what happens behind, now here, doesn't really matter that much. It matters, of course, but and occasionally just a little bit of more pigment, less pigment kind of a thing, where what I mean is, like, dip into the paint sometimes dip into the water and apply it. When it's applied from water, I mean with a lot of water in it, you're going to get light leaves. When it's applied with more pigment, you're going to get dark leaves, and that's a nice thing to have. That variation is nice. Now I definitely want this area to have green everywhere, because otherwise my white flowers are not going to stand out. You want them to stand out, you have to make sure they are surrounded by green, just to offset or whatever, bring out that color, not offset. I know. I normally don't do anything so late, but today the kids took a longer nap than usual, and I'm behind on a few more patterns for my designs for my cards, Christmas cards. So I said, why not I was going to paint anyway, so I said let's put on the camera while I paint. That's all I do. Okay, I'm starting to go a little overboard, I think. That happens. That's another thing that you have to remember when you start to do this, you tend to, it gets a bit addictive. Okay, looking for the gaps. Ah, there's one there that I didn't. Oops. Okay, if something like this happens, don't panic. Just pick it up. Just pick it up. No big deal. So that's another thing I like about loose florals, no? These kind of, I mean, this is not loose, but it's okay. A little bit of some color suddenly went off something else onto something else. It's okay. Not the end of the world. Okay, I'm starting to think this is looking quite busy now. One more round, and that is to have a dark shade of like maroon and black mixed in a very concentrated form, because I want these gaps. I want little dots in these places. Probably would have been nicer if I used a smaller brush, but could be darker. So as it dries, we know watercolor dries lighter, sorry. So it has become lighter than what I thought it would be. Mind you, I applied a lot of pigment when I did it the first time, but it needs more pigment, more vibrance, more pigment. So go in another round. What am I left with? Mostly I think the browns. Now we have to go and tackle those. Let me see. Okay, my thing is drying. You'll notice I've got a little bit of pinkish leaves, a few slightly is another thing that makes it look very nice. Add a touch of green, because well, poinsettia leaves actually start off green. So a touch of green here and there does not really matter. I want to leave this because I want to put a deep line of in between, in the centers after some time. I think now what needs to be done is the brown. Let's go back to the brown. Now I'm going to take burnt umber, is it? Yeah, I guess burnt umber. Burnt umber and a little bit of black. And I'm going to be more now I'm going to look for even more sections that have white and make sure I cover up every bit of white I see. Almost every bit, not all. Okay, so these are not just the color of the branches, but also some shadows in between. They act as that. I'm going deep here because out here you may not even see this. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Amita, go ahead. Asmita, go ahead because this definitely takes a long time. Not as fast as I hoped, but that's fine. But I love the exercise, really. It's very calming, very peaceful. Okay, so that's that. Alright. Definitely looking more like a wooden sort of a thing. Now I will also use that watery shade and my thinner brush. Where's my thinner brush? It's fallen down. Yeah. Double zero. Double zero is great for all these really tiny things. Okay. Oh, it's green. Sometimes a little bit of a pool here on the on the palette. I can't really make out then what is. Yes, Judith. I will try to save it. Let's hope my. Oh, oh, wonderful. My reference, my reference photo is gone. Oops, because my phone's gone. My phone's died on me. No problem. Good thing it happened now and not early on. And I've had to putting in a little bit of this blackish gray here because I want them to have a shadow. So the artificial what are these? These were ivy leaves, the artificial ones. They have a slight shadow where they are turning sideways. So the shadow doesn't come unless I put in a little bit of grey. Okay, what was it that I was left with? Yes. Now I need some very, very pigmented color. The leaves at the back, I'm simply using too much pigment. Shade of red with a little bit of black. Should I probably use burnt umber? There you go. What am I left with? Black. A little bit of black. Certain places here. Will give it a the effect of a shadow. At these curves, I like to put in a little bit of that darkness just to indicate that there is a bit of a shadow. Mind you, I'm just putting black. This is not brown with black, nothing, just black. But I'm being very, very careful with how much of it I put. And how much of it I put where I put. It has to still look like wood. So my really small brush. Okay, so that's it's looking like a decent wreath, I think. Let's see how this I may need to realign it a little bit just to get the placement a little more to the right, because now I think it's coming too much to the border. But let's see. When I scan this and print it, I'll have a better idea about this. Yeah, I still think these gray things are not going to look very nice. I feel they're not going to look very nice because they're not going to catch properly. Oh, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just going in with a touch of uh, yellow ochre and brown just to give it a deeper scent. Yellow, it's still yellow, but just a depth to it. Yeah. Thank you everyone. So now this picture, for example, it's printed nicely, but it is printed darker than my watercolor, my actual watercolor. So these kind of things happen. Sometimes it's the same shade, sometimes it's darker. So you have to check when you're printing, scanning and printing something. Always sample it. Different papers will give you a different kind of, I mean, the output of color will be quite different. For example, I had gone green with this, but this is way darker than my green. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're scanning. So this might turn out darker than it is right now. Right now it's looking quite light as compared to this, but imagine that eventually it may become darker. Okay, so that's that for now. Thank you so much for being around and for all your lovely comments. I'm always encouraged by all of you. I will keep at this, and you will definitely see Christmas cards coming out sooner than later, because I intend to have them out for those who want to order it and send it out. Christmas cards need to very often be sent outside of India too. So I know that this is more in demand, is in demand earlier than other cards. Okay. All right. Thanks for joining. I'll see you on another live soon, hopefully. Bye.